Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The role of language in education based on Quranic values, part one. Everyone, today we are going to discuss the role of language in education based on Quranic values and teaching. I want you to see from the beginning that in the Quranic perspective, language is not just about grammar, vocabulary, or pronunciation. Language is also connected to knowledge, ethics, reflections, and human development. So when we talk about language teaching, especially as future English teachers, we are not only talking about how to help students speak or write well. We are also talking about how language can shape character, support understanding, and build a better society. Before we go deeper, let me clarify our learning goals. By the end of this session, I expect you to understand why language is so central in the Quranic view of education. I also want you to identify how Quranic teaching relate to the four language skills and how language learning is connected with moral, intellectual, and social growth. Finally, I want you to reflect critically on how these values can still guide us today, even in a digital learning environment. Why language matters in Quranic educations? In other words, why does language critical or important so much in Quranic education? First, because revelations comes to human being through language. The message is conveyed, understood, remembered, interpreted, and taught through language. And second, the Quran itself is recognized as a rich linguistic heritage, not only because of what it says, but also because of how it says it. Its eloquence, rhythm, and structure show that language has deep educational power. So from Quranic perspective, language is not a side issue in education. It is one of the main foundations of education itself. And let's now turn to language as divine gift and educational mandate. Um, in Surah Al-Alaq, the first command is read, and the passage also mentioned the pen. This already tells us that literacy, knowledge, and learning are central in Islam. Then in Surah Ar-Rahman, Allah says that He taught human beings al-bayan, meaning expression or clear communications. This shows that the ability to express meaning is a divine gift. In another verse, Adam is taught the names. This is very important because naming is closely related to categorizing knowledge and understanding the world. So if we connect these verses, we can see that language is linked with literacy, expressions, knowledge, constructions, and human dignity itself. And the four language skills in a Quranic perspective. As future language teachers, you are very familiar with the four language skills, such as listening, speaking, reading, and writing. What is interesting is that Quranic pedagogy strongly support all four. Listening develops through attentive recitation, speaking develops through repetition, oral practice, and correct articulation. Reading grows through Qira, recitation, and repeated engagement with the text. Writing is also honored because the Quran explicitly mentioned the pen as a tool of learning and transmission. So the Quranic view of language education is actually very comprehensive. It does not separate language from knowledge, nor does it reduce language to only one skill. Instead, it encourages an integrated development of all four skills, as cited in Basir and Osman's. Yeah, sorry. And then let's turn to recitation, memorization, and comprehension. One important issue, ladies and gentlemen, we need to discuss is the role of recitation and memorization. Many studies show that recitation and memorization can really support language learning. They help learners with pronunciation, sound awareness, rhythm memory, and fluency. Group recitation can also build confidence and participation, but there is the important reminder: in Islamic education, memorization should not be the final goal. Students also need comprehension, reflection, and meaningful engagement with the text. So as teachers, we should not create a classroom that only values repetition, right? We should create a classroom where repetition support understanding and where fluency leads to reflections, yeah, as cited by Basir, Osman, and Sahin. Well, let's talk about language, ethic, and character formation. Okay, in the Quranic perspective, ladies and gentlemen, language is not value neutral. It is strongly connected with ethic. The Quran teaches people to speak truthfully, wisely, and respectfully. This means language education should also include adab, what is so-called adab, yeah? Students should learn not only how to express ideas clearly, but also how to speak it with responsibility and respect. In other words, a successful language class is not only producing students um, who are fluent, no, okay? We are not only producing students who are fluent, it is also helping them become ethical communicators who know how to use language for benefit, not harm, okay? And that's all for the first part. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to continue to the second part of this talk. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.